Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3. And today I'm going to be giving you part 17 of What If Naruto had the 6-eye Sharingan. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual. Share this to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the brand new episode over on Anime King of What If Naruto was born 6 years earlier with a Mokidan and Sharingan, and enjoyed that guys. And remember, if you're new, yes, I indeed have 4 channels which I post what fun every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead, smash that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support. So yeah, without further ado or wasting more time, what do you say we jump right into this brand new episode? Begin now guys. So the last spot we left off, the masked man who was going by Madara met up with none other than the leader of the Akatsuki, the so-called leader, which was Pain. As they discussed what was going on, someone was hunting the Akatsuki members. Yes, that was plain and simple for everyone to see. Someone was hunting down the members, and they had to do something about it. However, at the moment the Akatsuki was running short. They had neither the one or any other tailed beast at the moment, and several tailed beasts have been gone missing, and also the rest were in hiding or secured in their village, so this was bad. The masked man told Pain to call back the members of the Akatsuki and discuss this with them. They will hold off going for the beasts at the moment. Right now they will focus on finding out who exactly was hunting them, and how exactly this person had so much information on them. That is what they ought to find out before starting something else. After all, they cannot have members being killed after another without them getting any tail beasts. Meanwhile that was going on, Gurren found the whole thing strange. Orochimaru-sama had sent her on a mission with none other than Naruto. The reason why she found it strange was she has never been on a mission with Naruto. And also this mission was rather simple, so she didn't understand why Orochimaru-sama had to send him along. It wasn't that she hated him, but she just didn't understand. Well, maybe she did hate him a little, because she once idolized Orochimaru to the point where she wanted Orochimaru to take over her body, to use her as a vessel even if she would die. But now things were different. He no longer see her as useful, and she only wanted to be useful. However, while that was going on, Orochimaru was perplexed as his door was sliced to pieces. That is when Sasuke Uchiha stepped in. Of course Naruto knew that Orochimaru was trying to poison his food, to try to weaken him, but Naruto was not here. Sasuke will be the one to kill Orochimaru, as he had the power to do so, and besides, Snake Sanin was too weak to even fight back. So with that, a battle of epic proportions went down right there and then. While that was happening, Naruto revealed to Gurren that Yukimaru was going to die if they continued the testing on him. Yukimaru had very special chakra. Gurren was broken to hear that. She had tried to save and keep Yukimaru safe, but she had failed. However, Naruto told her that with the testing coming to a stop immediately, it would cancel its side effects and he would survive. However, Orochimaru would have to die, and at this moment he's being killed by Sasuke. Gurren was angered by that as she attacked Naruto. Lost in anger and despair, she attacked him with rage. However, Naruto told her that she will have to understand, and before she does, she will have to see what he has to offer. Taking off his glasses and throwing them up in the air, Naruto proceeded to beat the holy crap out of her. It all happened in the span of a few seconds. Gurren was baffled and shocked. As she was bleeding, her head was swimming. She wasn't able to move, she was just shocked. unable to believe that he was so powerful. She knew that he was strong, but this was just something else. That is when she decided to gather half of her remaining chakra and use her most powerful technique, her crystal death rounds. The technique came towards Naruto, but he pulled off something of his own. Naruto could not use it 100% because he didn't have the 6 totem, but he could still at least use part of it, that being the domain expansion, as he caught Gurren and her technique in a different dimension, shocking her. He raised his hand and simply snapped his finger. A wave of chakra destroyed her technique like it was child's play. It was a good thing that she was not hit by that, otherwise she would have been torn apart. However, Naruto's technique was not focused. If he was to awaken the 6th totem, it would be focused on Gurren, but he did not have the 6th totem, so it would not do. However, Gurren was able to see how far out of her depth she actually was, as she couldn't fight back anymore. She was on her knees. However, Naruto placed a hand towards her face as he talked to her. He started to slowly heal her, as Gurren started to come around to the idea, understanding his path and what he was setting out to do. As she came around to the idea and joined him. Yes, she joined him. Having someone to look up to. Wanting someone to prove to that she was worthy of living, existing, that is all that she ever wanted, and keeping Yukimura safe as well. Naruto brought her back to the island with Karen there. Yukimura was also there, that surprised her, as he came out and hugged her. After that was said and done, Naruto proceeded to fly off, making his way back towards the base. Kabuto had fled, yes. He had fled for his life as Sasuke did not see him. Kabuto had came across what was happening as he looked through the monitors. Once he saw that, Kabuto had proceeded to get the hell out of there. He was always the one that was being used. Always one that was not strong enough, always a pawn, and yet he was now pissed off, royally so. He will not allow this to continue. He will prove them wrong. He will prove them all wrong, and they will see. With that, he fled from the base, aiming to make Naruto and Sasuke regret it. His one goal. However, in order to do so, he had to get power. He had to become so strong that they would have to bow to his might. Upon them killing Orochimaru, Naruto also brought out Sasuke's seal as he proceeded to incinerate the Sannin, soul inside of Sasuke. However, the essence and the strength of the Sannin had been passed on to Sasuke as he did so, gaining Sasuke a great boost in his ability and his speed and everything, and also knowledge capacity as well. Once that was said and done, they had the victims of Orochimaru spread the news as Naruto freed them all. They spread the news far and wide about what Naruto had done, about what Sasuke had done. The Akatsuki had another meeting to discuss this new development, and told Itachi and Kisame to watch their back. Now they had to worry about the Uchihas coming after them as well. However, that was not the only problem, no. Someone else was hunting them. They were unaware of that. Who exactly was that person? While that was going on at Konoha, Mito was shocked when she heard what happened. However, this meant that Naruto and Sasuke would come home, right? However, seeing the look on the other people's faces in the room, she knew that she was wrong. However, she would not stop trying to get them back, no matter what she does. She will get them back to the village, as that's a promise of a lifetime. However, as a few weeks pass, something strange happened as Katetsu and Izumo were at the gate. Someone showed up. He just popped up out of nowhere. They were shocked beyond disbelief as they saw who it was. One person first and then the other, as both Naruto and Sasuke stepped out of a rift in space and time, right in front of both men. They couldn't believe it. Envoys instantly flocked the area. As they raised their hands, they said that they were here to surrender. So yeah guys, basically let's left off. You guys can switch across the play, check it out for yourself. So with this we jump right into this brand new episode. Begin now guys. Today was a really crazy, unpredictable day. Yes, it was. In fact, none of them would have expected this to happen. They thought that the boys had another goal. Seeing what they had done, they thought they were up to something else. However, but a few weeks after Orochimaru was pronounced dead, here they were. Tsunade Senju stood in front of the one-way mirror, looking inside, glancing over towards Ibiki Marino. What have they said so far? They said that they only want to speak with you. They have not communicated to anyone else, said Ibiki as he looked towards the boy through the glass. Tsunade stepped forward as she stepped to the left. It was two rooms connected to one another. The seals were activated, cancelling out all sounds. Tsunade did not put the both of them together. Sasuke was on the left and Naruto was on the right, the both of them sitting on a metal chair. Their hands were cuffed to the table. Special chakra sealing cuffs. With those on, they could not mold chakra one bit. Neither of them had any weapons on them. No seals, well, except for the strange marks on them that was gifted to them by Orochimaru. But those could not be removed as they removed everything else. But there was no weapons. They had removed Naruto's glasses. Upon deactivating his chakra, Tsunade thought that his eyes might revert back to normal, but they were just stuck that way. After what she had read about, she wasn't surprised. However, the reason for them being here, that was a big surprise. I will talk to Naruto first. He seemed to be the one in charge of things. I doubt that Sasuke is just a follower though. If anything, he probably knows everything that Naruto does as well. But I'll talk to him first, she said, as she looked into the room. What was the results of the test of the effectiveness of his eyes? It seems that they're only situated that way. With the cuffs on, I doubt he could cast any genjutsu or do anything. There's absolutely no chakra coming from him, except the small amount to keep him alive. We had the Hyugas test him thoroughly. They're 100% sure that he cannot cast a single genjutsu. Good, said Tsunade, knowing how tricky these damn Uchihas could be with their eyes. With that, she turned the knob as she entered into the room, closing the door behind her. The privacy seal was once again up. Tsunade pulled the chair as she sat down on the opposite side, as she looked at him calmly. His face was indifferent. No smile, no frown, nothing at all, it was just calm. Well, start talking, said Tsunade. I assumed that you would be happy, said Naruto. Happy? And why would I be happy, she asks. One of Konoha's greatest enemies is now dead, and that's because of my brother. Your brother? Didn't the both of you kill Orochimaru, Tsunade asks. No. Sasuke had the pleasure to kill him all on his own, said Naruto. And Tsunade was surprised by that. From what she was told, Naruto was always the stronger amongst the two. And she had no doubt that they have grown exponentially in the past couple of years. So for Sasuke to kill someone like Orochimaru, that just explained his strength. She did not even know if that was his limit. However, if that was the case, what was the strength that this one in front of her possessed? She filed that away in her mind though. Oh, don't get me wrong, she said. I'm glad that you exterminated him. He's been a plague on Konoha's name for a very long time now, and I'm glad that he's finally gone. However, what I would like to know is your motives. With the way everything was going, we all doubt that you would just return back to Konoha. You and Sasuke were at the Land of Wind, and all evidence pointed to you saving the Kazekage. However, its tail beast is now missing. I am not sure if the Akatsuki got to him and extracted it and you saved his life. Or did you take it and kept him alive as well? Tsunade watched him carefully for anything. She's been a Kunoichi for a very long time. She can know if he's lying, as she applied chakra to her ears to hear his heartbeat. As she focused on him, she watched his lips, his face, to see if there will be any signs. You know, said Naruto, not answering her questions. You're a rather good Hokage. You've done a lot with the village. Since coming back, you've tried to better it, and put it in a better condition than it was in. Because we both know how corrupted this village was before you arrived. However, you changed that. Things are now a lot different here, from what I've seen, said Naruto. I commend you on your actions. We're not here to talk about me and the Hokage position. We're here to talk about you. As Naruto glanced, he did not look at her, instead he looked behind her. There was a small smile on his face, as she wondered what the hell he was looking at. Before his eyes averted back towards her, she couldn't help but look at how peculiar his eyes were. Another note to take down there was now 5 totem in each of his eyes. Are you gonna answer my question or not? She asked him. I will. But before that, no. No before, she said. Answer the question. Easy now, said Naruto. We have time. There's no need to be in a rush. And I promise what I'm gonna say to you is gonna help in me answering your question. Her eyes narrowed on him. What are you talking about? Danzo Shamura, said Naruto. Tsunade was a bit caught off guard by him saying that. What about him? She said. You know that he wished to take the position of Hokage away from you, correct? Tsunade blinked. And what would make you say that? Well, I know what I know. And we both know that you know what you know as well. Was he trying to confuse her? She wondered to herself as she looked at him. We both know what he seek and what he desire. I'm wondering why you just allow him to do as he please. We both know if all of his actions were to come to the light, his shame would be everlasting on the hidden leaf. What are you talking about? You know if it comes to it, and the position is right, and the time is right, he would kill you to get the position, correct? Tsunade did not answer the question. However, she asked her own. What does Danzo have to do with this? Tell me, said Naruto. Now that Orochimaru is dead and we're back here, does this mean you will throw us in prison for deserting the village? And why shouldn't I? You blatantly ran away from this village to gain power. You left behind people that cared about you. Or have you forgotten Mito? As she watched him once again. However, he was so good at hiding his damn emotions. There was nothing. I was told a lot about you three growing up. You three were the bestest friends. And yet you abandoned her to gain power. And now that you kill Orochimaru, you're back. To what? Rejoin the village, she asks. She wanted to know his motive. She wanted to know what he was up to. Because if she wasn't able to figure it out right now, she would never do so. She could feel it. There was just something about him. The way he spoke. All of his words seemed to be calculated and well thought over. She knew that he was up to something. You still haven't answered my question, said Tsunade. Did you take the tail beast from the Kazekage or not? On one hand, if I did, that would make me a criminal to the Sun. And seeing that we have abandoned Konoha, basically became missing ends. I will also be targeted by the Hidden Leaf. Hunted by both nations. On the other hand, if I did not, what would that mean? That I be welcomed back home. Because I did Konoha's service of killing Orochimaru, Naruto asks. Are you saying it? Are you asking me? Tsunade asks, looking at him. However, he merely smiled, which angered her even more. Answer the damn question, she said. Seems like we've been noticed, said Naruto. We've what? She said to him. You knew that it will only take a matter of time before she found out. After all, me and Sasuke appearing through a portal was not exactly secretive. I'm sure by now word has spread all over the village. Therefore you know what is coming. Tsunade cursed in her mind. She knew exactly what he was talking about, Mito. She had wanted to keep the girl out of this until she knew more about the situation, but... Wait a moment. Tsunade snapped her gaze up. Why would you say that? How would you know? She asked, looking at him. Even if Mito did find out, how the hell would he know? His chakra he sealed off, he could not sense her. Or could he, Tsunade thought. As she focused down toward his hands, the seal was still activated. She watched him carefully. Do not be alarmed, said Naruto. I am not a bad person. I have not killed a Konoha shinobi. And I am not going to. There's no reason for me to do something like that. That would just make us wanted by the village. However, the problem lies in you getting in our way. Now that Orochimaru is dead, we will be out and about. That is why I want you to call off the search. To stop the ninjas from coming after us. Tsunade looked at him like he was crazy. You say that, like you're gonna leave this place without my permission. Naruto chuckled softly, causing Tsunade to be more cautious as she prepared herself. Funny thing about your Byakugan users, the Hyugas, while it is said that they understand chakra more than most, there is not a single individual on this planet that understands the essence of chakra like I do. Therefore, it is easy to do something like this. The door burst open. As Ibiki rushed inside, Hokage-sama. Sasuke is gone, he said. What? How? I'm not sure. His body just vanished. Snethy snapped her head towards Naruto. What did you do? She said. As I said to you before, there is no one on this planet that knows more about chakra than myself, said Naruto. My eyes can deceit and fool even what is said to be the all-seeing eyes. Snethy got to her feet. He did this. That is why Sasuke was less responsive. He was a clone, an illusion. But the Hyugas, Ibiki said. I have no idea how he did it, but he did it. Quickly, send the envoys out to scour the place. We can't afford for him to escape. But what about him, Ibiki said. He's not going anywhere, said Snethy as she focused a dead glare on Naruto. Don't even try, she said, as she clenched her fists. As much as I would like to test myself against you, to see how far I've come in terms of facing a Sanin, because I didn't have the luxury of doing so, I'm afraid it is not in our future to fight, said Naruto as he looked down towards the cuff on his hand. Slowly but surely, blue flames erupted on the seal as it started to burn it. Do it now, she yelled towards Ibiki. Ibiki flashed through hand sign. Ninja art. Prison containment seal, he said. He slammed his hand on the ground. That is when the walls started to glow. Snetty jumped as both of them fled through the door. They locked the door shut. The moment they did so, ceiling arrays flooded the entire area as they appeared all over the walls. Slowly but surely, wires break from them and wrapped around Naruto's wrists and his legs, his torso, his head. They confined his body tightly. Ibiki still had his hand locked in the ram seal. As Naruto looked over his body that was covered by the ceiling wires, these were not ordinary wires. They would be impossible to break by any normal means. However, time and time again Naruto has proven that he was not a normal man. Blue flames erupted inside of the entire area. It was like flames appear out of nothingness. It just exploded. Ibiki watched as the wire started to burn his control over the seal, quickly losing as he lost it the moment later. Naruto was now standing there completely unharmed. How's that possible? Said Snetty. Naruto walked up towards the glass. He seemed like he could hear her. As I said before, there is no one on this planet that knows about chakra more than me. And with that knowledge, there is nothing that can bind me, said Naruto. However, at that very moment, someone came rushing down the halls. Naruto! Sasuke! She screamed out. As it was none other than Mito herself. Her face flushed, frantic, as she couldn't believe it. She saw Snetty. Snetty blinked. What the hell? Mito, she said, as Mito stopped in front of the glass. As she saw him. Naruto, she said, as Naruto looked at her calmly. A few minutes earlier, there was some commotion. Mito overheard people talking. She had grabbed a lady by the shoulder and told her to repeat what she just said. After all, Naruto and Sasuke arriving in the village was not subtle. The news spread like wildfire. It only took a moment as Mito was in the Hokage's office, where Shizune was. Where are they? What are you talking about? Come on, Shizune, don't screw with me. I know you know. Naruto and Sasuke, they're back. Where are they? Mito yelled. I'm sorry, but I can't tell you that. Not yet. Lady Snetty. Mito slammed her hands on the table, cracking it violently. This is no time for damn secrets. I need to talk to them. I can stop them. I can convince them to stay. Tell me where they are, she yelled. I'm sorry, I can't, Shizune said, in an apologetic tone. Fine. I'll find them myself, said Mito, as it came to her. She remembered that mission she went on with Team 8, when they had to capture that prisoner. And where they went. She started to walk. Mito, Shizune said, Lady Snazzy didn't want you to get involved because she don't want you to get hurt. Please, just follow her orders. We still don't know. Enough, Mito said. I promised myself a long time ago I would find them. And I'll bring them back. And this time I won't allow them to leave the village. And I don't intend to break my promise. Now, either you forcefully try and stop me or you get out of my way. Shizune looked at her before she sighed and stepped to the side. Good luck, Shizune whispered, hoping that she could at least convince them. As Mito simply made her way off, Shizune returned back to the decks. Well, at least maybe with Mito there, she could play on their consciousness. They were good friends in the past after all. As she watched the girl quickly made her way off, Mito making her way towards the last known location where they had brought the enemy back. She believed that was the interrogation department, and that was behind the Hokage monument. As she made her way, arriving towards the location, Mito saw envoys spreading out. It was at that moment that gave them the order, so she quickly found the location. There were several envoys in her path though. However, she had no time to waste. As the envoys were making their way down the hall, chains came out of nowhere and wrapped around them, throwing them off to the side as she rushed past them. What the hell was that? As they got back up to their feet. End of flashback. As Mito came across the scene, several envoys that came after her, Snazzy raised her hand stopping them. It was already too late. Mito, why didn't you tell me that you were back? She said looking towards Snazzy. You know why, said Snazzy. This time, I won't fail, she said. That's not what I mean. So don't believe that I'm blaming you for anything. It's just, I know. But I made myself a promise, and I don't intend on breaking that. As she stepped towards the door, Ibiki stepped forward as Snazzy raised a hand stopping him. Mito opened the door as she stepped inside, closed the door behind her. Naruto had not moved, not even an inch, as he just stood there. Meanwhile that was going on, Danzo's shrine mirror was currently underground, as he sat in a throne. Danzo was a bit worried. He never had the faintest clue on where the boys were. Through the whole 3 years, he could never find them. He failed to do so in every turn. However, after killing Orochimaru, he believed that they would go after Itachi. But now they were back. This confused him greatly. He wondered to himself if they somehow figure out what happened, why Itachi did what he did. Perhaps that was the reason why they were here. To see him dead. If that was the case, he had to make preparations. As he gathered all the remaining envoys inside the area. If they were actually here to come after him or actually tell Snazzy about what happened. If that was the case, he would be placed on trial. His mind was already going a mile a minute, thinking about the possible places that he could lay low. There were several places spread across the elemental nation that he could stay for the time being, until he got this whole mess started out. For all he knew, they could be telling Snazzy what is going on right now. Meanwhile, outside in the forest, Danzo hideout was underground. There was a special tree in the forest that root agents use. It was a secret back door. As Sasuke stood in front of said tree, as Naruto had mentally led him here, the moment they stepped in the village, Naruto had mapped out the entire place, all chakra signatures, down to the ones underneath the ground, as he was able to pinpoint Danzo immediately. However, he had to cause a distraction. It was just for a split second. That is why he stepped out of the portal first. Sasuke had flashed away after that, as Naruto had created an exact replica of Sasuke that can even fool the Byakugan. He said it before, and it was true to the word. There was no one that understands chakra better than him, as he was able to fool the Byakugan like it was nothing. His eyes allow him to see on the subatomic level of chakra. Not even the Byakugan could understand what he could see and what he could make reality. From a young age, Naruto was able to cast chakra mists to confuse Anvus. The things that he can do now was just remarkable. Sasuke had never been there the entire time. Yes, his body was physical and real. And it seems like Sasuke, but he was just a mere copy. A doppelganger, if you might say. That was serving one purpose, that was distracting while the real Sasuke found the location. Arriving there, Sasuke pulled something from a pouch. It was a small orb, about the size of a baseball. Sasuke looked as his eyes picked up on the seal. The moment he activated Sharingan, he then proceeded to press the ball on it. The chakra inside the ball quickly ate away at the seal. Naruto chakra being able to overpower and unravel almost any seal that is created once it got into the depths of things. And this was being controlled by Naruto while he was doing what he was doing. None of his chakra was ever wasted. He knew exactly the finer points of his chakra, what it takes to perform a jutsu, and he knew exactly where all of his chakra was. Therefore, he could control it with just a mere thought. His mind, his eyes were advanced. However, doing these stressful things, you would think it would be wear and tear to the body. However, Naruto's eyes allow him to slowly funnel healing chakra through his body constantly to make sure it doesn't matter what he did, his body would never wear and tear, even if he expended his chakra like a living organism and it take a while for him to absorb it. He will always be on his feet and his chakra seem unending, but the thing was, Naruto had a lot of chakra, but it wasn't that a lot. The thing was, his jutsus required so little, it was almost like he was barely using anything. That is why he can seem to never run out of chakra, no matter what he did. That is just some of the aspects that he has gained over the past couple of years. Sasuke watched as the thing in front of him slowly shifted, like a revolving door. Looking down, there was nothing but pure darkness, his Sharingan glancing, scoping in on everything down below. As Sasuke jumped down and landed, it was like a sewer underground. There was no funky smell or anything though, as his eyes scanned through the area, before he reached behind him and pulled out something, what seemed to be a larger scroll. However, as he unfurled, there was many kanjis all over it. Meanwhile, that was going on. As Naruto stood there, as Mito stepped forward, "It's been a long time." 3 years, she said. Her tone was calm. There was a calm smile on her face. "Yes, it has," said Naruto. "You have certainly grown," he said, looking her up and down. "I've grown." She started to laugh. A follow the response I expected. "I knew you would say something like that. It seems you haven't changed as much as I thought, have you?" As Naruto's face was calm as ever. Despite her smiling face, she was racked with emotions. As she's learned something, she realized the way that she treated Sasuke was different from the way she treated Naruto. She treated Sasuke like he was kind of a brother to her, because in a way he was like the bestest friend that you could ever have. But the way she treated Naruto, as she remembered the younger days, where she calmly slept on his shoulder, where he calmly carried her back on his back when she had been exhausted from training, where she sat in his lap like it was nothing, where he gave her his ice cream because she did not like hers. Those things, when she was younger, they did not mean much. It was just their friendship, but now, things were so different. "Did you miss me?" she asked. "Because I missed you. I really missed you. You're one of the most important people in my life, and you vanished. You left a hole, a really, really big one, in my heart." I was sad for a very long time. However, I decided that I will not be sad anymore. As that actually brought a small smile to Naruto's face. "It is just like you to say something like that. But tell me, why have you decided that?" "Oh, it's simple. Because I was gonna bring you back, and there was nothing on this earth or in this entire universe that would stop me from doing so. She said as she stepped closer to him. I would fight. I would train. I would do whatever it takes to make sure that I bring you back. And you or anyone else would not stop me. And now Urchamar is dead. And you show yourself. You're not leaving this village as an enemy. The only time you're going to leave is on missions with me. As my comrade, she said. As she extended a hand towards him. It's over now, she said. I'll help you defeat Itachi. All you have to do is end this immediately. And just apply to the Hokage rules. You've not killed any Konoha shinobi. Or harmed any of them to any bad extent that will leave them in a state of unresponsive. In fact, the only thing that you have been charged for is fleeing the village. And I'm sure that once I talk to Bachan, we can get this whole thing sorted out. After all, you kill one of Konoha's greatest enemies. And you are one of the few Uchihas remaining. So I'm sure that you can get some leeway. Maybe a slap on the wrist or something. Well, I'm not sure, but I promise you it won't be bad. I can set my life on that, she said. So please, just come back and end this, she said. As Naruto looked at her, he was fighting. Internally fighting with himself. However, he could feel Sasuke arriving towards the location and was about to summon him. But it was hard. Standing here with her. Things that he had tried to block out for so long now, but seeing her, it started to manifestate so high, so large as he looked at her. She smiled at him, her hand extended. All he wanted to do was hug her and apologize for the misery that he put her through. However, he had things to do. Things that he could not do if he allowed himself to be drawn back in. And in doing so, he had to hurt her and himself once again. He had to, otherwise he would never complete his goal. He would never achieve what he wanted. And he would sacrifice himself in order to achieve this. Because it wasn't just for himself. It was for the people that he cared about, her included. But in order to do so, they would see him as a villain. I'm sorry, said Naruto. A frown came on her face. There are things that I must do. Things that you might never understand. But I have to do them. I have to. What? What don't I understand? Talk to me. You never used to keep secrets away from me before. Just tell me. I'll understand, I promise. Please, just talk to me, she said. As Naruto stepped forward, they were so close to one another. The both of them feeling something between them. Yet, Naruto stopped it. I can't, he said. I'm sorry. No, don't, she said as she reached out towards him, but he vanished. As her hand went through smoke, she clenched her fists. No, not again. Never again, she said as she drove it into the table, creaking the metal. Before she swung the door open, we have to find him, she said. Meanwhile, as Naruto appeared beside Sasuke, I see everything went as planned, said Naruto. Sasuke nodded as he noticed something. Unlike most people, he could read Naruto rather easy. What happened, he said. It's nothing. However, Sasuke stopped in front of him. Don't lie to me, what happened, he said to him. As Naruto looked away, it was Mito, he said. She arrived for the investigation. I saw her. Sasuke wasn't sure to feel about that. Mito was one of his closest friends. In fact, she was like a sister to him. But they had to do things, and she couldn't be involved for that. However, Sasuke had seen things that he was never able to see when he was younger. The way that his brother reacted with Mito. He cared for her more than just about their friendship. He knew that his brother knew of this as well. And in knowing this, his brother must be concealing all of that emotion. It must be painful. But they had to endure the pain until They achieve what they wanted. Otherwise, they might never get what they want. As Naruto took a breath, "It's over now," he said, as his eyes scanned through the entire area. He's afraid. All of the root Anvus has flocked towards his system. "I can see him," said Naruto as he walked. There was nothing covering his eyes as he walked. They were deep underground. Konoha would not find them for some time unless the battle truly got randy. As Naruto calmly stepped, Sasuke stepping beside him, his eyes gleaming through the darkness, blue and red. Both boys making their way down to kill Danzo Shimura. However, that was not the only objective. Slowly but surely as Naruto walked, his body materialized chakra that formed into a clone. The clone did not speak or say anything, it just moved off, already knowing what to do. As Naruto wanted something from Danzo, something that would help them greatly. Well, not him per se. With that, they calmly made their way down there. It did not take them too long. As Naruto stopped in front of a massive door, Sasuke drew his blade and sliced the thing to pieces. As the hinges were no longer supporting anything, Naruto was sure that Danzo already knew that he was down here, but they were not trying to hide themselves. Danzo wanted to kill them. He could not risk them revealing things that he didn't want the public to know. Danzo stood there inside of the massive hall. The place was large. Anvus flanked up and down. As Naruto and Sasuke stood on some kind of walkway, Anvus were up at the top looking down towards them. Two Anvus stood behind Danzo. There were several to the left, several to the right, many down below, and many down to the far corner hiding. Naruto could see them all, and many of them up as well, ready to strike at any moment notice. Danzo wasn't a fool, of course he knew why they were here. "Who told you?" he said, as he was curious. Did Itachi tell them? He wasn't aware of where Itachi was on a daily basis, so perhaps Itachi was the one. "You're not a fool, so I would not take you for one," said Naruto. "You know why we're here, given that question that you just asked us." "Yes, and I'll ask again, who told you?" "That is none of your concern," Sasuke said. "We're not here to talk much after all. What we're here for is your life. People like you cannot exist in the world that we're seeking to create. So you have to die," he said. You two have grown cocky with your time with Orochimaru. You two have no idea what you have just walked into. However, it is good for me, because this way, I can eliminate you both. You know too much, and I will be taking your eyes. Especially you, Naruto, he said. "Bring me their eyes," he called out. The moment he said that, his ninjas jumped forward. As Naruto brought his hand up, he still did not have full control over this. However, it shall be enough. Sasuke gave him a look, knowing what he had to do after he did that. As Sasuke placed a hand on Naruto's back. "Domain expansion," said Naruto. Danzo was frozen where he was. So was all of his Anvus. They were not technically frozen by Naruto, but by what they were experiencing. The side effects were not long-lasting because Naruto did not possess 6 totem. The side effects should be lasting out in the outside world once they were freed, but it was not. And Naruto could not release his attack that he wanted to kill all of them at once, because he was not yet able to fully use the domain expansion, one of his most powerful techniques, but rendered weak because he did not possess the 6 totem. However, in this case, it was strong enough to do this. As Naruto released and pushed his chakra to the max, his power being pushed to the limit. As he vanished, Sasuke was able to witness it though. Naruto was moving like a demon. A speed demon as he teared through root Anvus after root Anvus. Danzo's mind was just trying to fathom what was going on. His Sharingan that was hidden under the veil slowly helping him succumb to what was going on. Another drawback of Naruto not being able to fully master the domain expansion, Danzo was able to break out of it, as he used his own power to overexert what happened. By that time though, blood had splattered all over, as Naruto sped through the room. The root Anvus who were not as strong, or had a mental defense to stop them, well, they were screwed. As Naruto tore and ripped, a blade in his hand, a strange katana that hilt was black. The blade was silver with strange blue lines running through it. Bodies kept on falling, some of them suspended where they were. Danzo staggered back as he tried to get away from where this place was. It seems like they were outside in a empty field, yet it was almost like they were in the sky, sparkles, stars. However, beyond it was incomplete. That was because of Naruto's lack of control once again. Danzo didn't understand. He jumped away, only for his back to hit something hard. Looking around, Danzo saw one of his men that he bumped into. His throat had been slashed. Danzo's eyes switched from left to right trying to find what was going on. However, inside here, despite his incompletion, Naruto's status was boost, everything being far stronger. The next thing Danzo knew, he was freed. He collapsed, his mind just being hit by the process of information. However, because of the Sharingan and Naruto not having full control, Danzo was able to regain his self in a matter of seconds. But Naruto dropped to one knee though. Yes, he dropped to one knee as he started to pant. Danzo had over 200 root ninjas here. He was sure that not even a few seconds passed, his Sharingan told him so. As he had tore off the bandage and revealed the eye to see if he was going crazy or not. But it was true, not even a few seconds passed. He had over 200 root ninjas. 200 plus. Most of them being at the village. He had called them back the moment Naruto and Sasuke were said to be in the village. Toru and Fu, two of his best, they were always at his side. Sai was not here though, as Danzo was having him blend with the younger groups, so that he could learn more and also be there when the initial conflict happened with Naruto and Sasuke, but that wouldn't be the case anymore. Danzo still did not understand what had just happened in his mind, slowly starting to process everything. 200 plus Anvus, and yet all of them were now dead. All he saw was a flash and a blur. As for Naruto, he overexerted himself. The technique already took a hefty toll on him, and for him to go so fast inside of it sapped a lot of his energy. Danzo saw him fear that power. Yes, he did. He feared it. Fear that something like that could be done by this simple child. Danzo moved forward with his cane as he drew a blade out of it, intending on stabbing Naruto right through the skull. As Naruto glanced up as Sasuke appeared and blocked Danzo's strike with his own, his Sharingan looking into that Sharingan eye, rage over his face as Sasuke pushed him back. Danzo flipped. He almost slipped on the body of his root ninja. "Are you alright?" Sasuke asked. "I'll be fine," said Naruto as he released heavy breaths. Even Sasuke was surprised when Naruto told him what he was gonna do. The amount of bodies had up to 200 plus. Sasuke Sharingan had quickly counted them, and now they were all dead. All of them exterminated in a matter of a few seconds. None of them even know what happened before death succumbed them. Danzo was now angry as he started to undo something on his arm. "Kill him," said Naruto. Sasuke shot forward. However, Danzo quickly stopped focusing on his arm as he quickly spewing from his mouth. He shot it towards Sasuke as Sasuke twisted mid-air. As Naruto leaped backwards, landing behind Danzo's throne. as he got pierced several times by the wind bullets. He calmed himself as he controlled his breathing. Meanwhile, on the outside, as the village was on complete lockdown, ninjas were flocking from buildings to buildings. They were moving fast. Everyone was all over the place. The Hyugas and especially Inuzakas were being used, trying to track the saint, smelling the room and tracking where the hell he went. Yet, he was somehow able to fool their senses, because they could not pinpoint exactly his location. They have no idea how he was doing this. The Hyugas felt ashamed. How they were not able to see that Sasuke was a fake. It made no sense to them. Something like that should not even be possible, and yet they failed to notice. Yes, they did. Back down below, Danzo cursed as Sasuke would not allow him to get near to Naruto. He saw why. After releasing that technique, whatever it was, it had sorely sapped a lot of his strength and his stamina, it seems. This was a perfect opportunity to end his life, but Sasuke wouldn't allow it. Sasuke would not allow him to get close, as Danzo quickly destroyed the bridge, forcing Sasuke to jump to the other side. Upon doing so, Danzo quickly unsealed his right arm, releasing what was inside. And that was all the Sharingans that was stored on him. When Sasuke saw them, his Sharingan flare even darker. "Where did you get those?" Sasuke asked. "I am sure that the answer would just make you more angry," said Danzo. "However, it does not matter. As I've said already, neither of you will be leaving this place alive. That is a promise," Danzo said to the both of them, as he whipped out two shurikens before applying chakra to it. He then swirled and launched them towards Sasuke. Sasuke jumped forward as he hooked his blade into one before launching it back towards Danzo. He flipped as he applied chakra to the bottom of his heel to control the other one before launching it as well. The two of them coming as Danzo jumped as he flipped right through the center and landed. That is when Sasuke appeared right in front of him and split. Sasuke's blade tore right through his throat, causing Danzo to step back. Sasuke was not chancing anything as he rammed his blade through Danzo's heart. "It's over," he said. However, Danzo shimmered away. The next thing Sasuke knew, he turned. However, a brutal kick slammed in his guts, blasting him right towards the wall. He slammed right in it. However, Sasuke quickly got back up, confused, as Danzo stood there completely unharmed. There's a lot for you to learn, young one. You and your brother could have been something great for Konoha, but you two have already chosen your path, and the only thing that lies in your future now is death." With that, they start to clash once again. Sasuke was able to cut him down another time. However, Danzo got back up like it was nothing. Confused, he couldn't understand what was going on, as Sasuke flipped away once again. That is when his eye caught sight of something. As he noticed the eye, two of them had been closed. As he focused on them, as he attacked Danzo once more, Danzo attacked Sasuke as he tried to kill him, as Sasuke was doing the same, but this was just for a test. Sasuke was able to drive a snore right through his heart, while Danzo was able to slice him across the cheek and the arm as well. Jumping back, Sasuke was bleeding, but it wasn't that bad. Danzo, on the other hand, Danzo reappeared. That is when Sasuke noticed. He noticed, as he now understand, as he saw the other clothes leaving, 7 remaining. "Danzo-sama." Danzo glanced as he saw Sai jumping down towards him. He was with the other rookies, as he then realized something big was happening after seeing the ninjas spread out everywhere. So he decided to come and investigate and check upon his master, and look what he found. As he saw the Uchiha, but only one of them though. "Sai, I am glad that you're here," said Danzo. "Do not waste time. Go and kill Naruto Uchiha immediately." "Where is he?" Sai said, looking around. However, Sai felt strange for some odd reason. Maybe it was him hearing Mito talk about this Naruto and Sasuke, but mostly Naruto. However, he had to do what his master asks. Danzo was about to say something until something tore into his side. Shock written all over his face as he saw Sai was impaled through the heart. The same blade had torn into his side. Sai looked down in shock, as he couldn't believe it. He didn't even sense anything. That is when the blade was retracted to show an extremely long arm coming from Naruto. There was nothing in this world that the Six-Eye Sharingan cannot learn, and that was Orochimaru's specialty. As Naruto's arm returned back to its proper length, still holding on to the blade. As Sai fell over, Danzo turned, but Sasuke appeared, his hand covered in lightning as he slammed it through the man's head, tearing across his face, ending his life by destroying his brain. However, Danzo reappeared. Danzo frowned as he saw that Naruto was back on his feet. He thought that would have taken longer, but he guessed he was wrong. He is using the Sharingan to revive himself. Sasuke spoke up. Another growl escaped Danzo, so they knew. I know, said Naruto. Every time he dies, he comes back to life. So we have to kill him. The amount of time those eyes are open. As Naruto stepped forward. Seems you're at a disadvantage here, Danzo. You were the one that taught me in my younger years to be ruthless and use whatever you have at your advantage. But right now you have none. That eye in your skull, it belonged to Shisui Uchiha. I can now sense the chakra that is coming from it. So you're the one who killed him. And they blame Itachi for that. But I'm not surprised. You were indeed behind everything. As Danzo did not say anything as he simply remained quiet, watching the both of them. Danzo did not see a chance of him winning here, unless, as Danzo tried to activate Shisui's eye and use it on Naruto, the Kodomasukami. He tried to be rather brief about it, to make sure that neither of them would notice. However, Naruto started to laugh, confusing the man. Do you really think that you can place me under your control? Huh. You're not even using it properly. Shisui had much better control. You're just a fake imitation. How? Said Danzo. How did I stop it? Said Naruto. Well, it's quite simple. Despite you can't see what you've done by casting that jutsu, I can. I saw the moment you released it, said Naruto as he started to walk forward. Do you want to know what real illusion look like? Do you want to know what real complete control look like? Danzo found himself stuck. What are you doing to me? Said Danzo, as he could not move. It's quite simple, said Naruto. The chakra that you released upon using the Kodomasukami, when it failed, it returned back to you. Well, a tiny percentage that I made come back. However, my chakra is also mixed inside of it as well. What? That's not possible. I would have known, said Danzo. You pitiful old fool, said Naruto. You've already used up your one chance. And from that arm that you have on your hand, I'm judging that you cannot use the Kodomasukami again for at least a day. However, the thing is, there's a blind spot once you use the technique. And as I said, you're not a Uchiha. You're just a fake imitation. You can never understand the true powers of a Uchiha, said Naruto, as Sasuke walked up from behind him as well. As Naruto was walking calmly towards him, he raised his blade and pressed it against Danzo's temple, before he slowly sank it in. As the man died, Danzo reappeared a distance away. He proceeded to fire several wind bullets towards the top beams, causing them to fall on the two Uchihas. Knowing that that would not kill them, Danzo decided to get out of here. He would go towards one of his safe hideouts. There he would regroup. With the small amount of men that he had outside on missions, he could not win this battle, He had to flee for his life. As Danzo made it towards the exit, he reappeared in front of Sasuke. As Sasuke drove his blade through his chest, Danzo blinked, confused. He reappeared once again. He used the wind technique to destroy the beams, before running away. Danzo was hit with a sense of deja vu, but he kept on moving. He had to regroup. As he reached the exit, he reappeared in front of Sasuke. And it happened again. Danzo ran. He reappeared. He ran. He reappeared. He ran. He reappeared. He ran. He reappeared. Danzo blinked. As he once again reappeared, panting heavily. He couldn't understand. Looking towards his arm, he saw that he still had 6 eyes. 4 times he has been killed, so what is that feeling? Why does he feel like he's been doing this for hours? What's going on? He couldn't understand. His danger senses kicked off. As he stepped back, slice. The left side of his throat was split. Danzo quickly grabbed it as he stopped the blood flow. Well, he tried to as he stepped back. What? How? He said. As Sasuke appeared in front of him, Danzo realized they were in a different location of the base. When did I? How did I? Danzo couldn't understand. He then glanced up to see Naruto. As Naruto was panting heavily, it then all clicked. All of that was an illusion. Naruto never stabbed him. Sai never appeared. That was all fake. The moment Danzo first died, Naruto has been slowly placing his chakra inside of the man's body. And once he had enough, Naruto started to allow him to see what he wanted him to see. Danzo kept on dying by Sasuke's hand. Sasuke was the one that kept on stabbing him after he reappeared. Danzo was shocked when he saw that there was no more eyes left open. The only eye that was left was Shisui's eye. But wait, he did not try to cast a Kodomasakami. But what was that then? As Danzo realized it was Naruto, tampering with his system and made him think that he was casting a jutsu. All this time, the boys had him around their fingers. Danzo was stunned. Fear was all over his face, absolute fear as he was terrified. However, in doing so, Naruto had put a great mental stress on himself, as he had to keep on keeping Danzo supplied with his own chakra, and not to mention since he had killed all the root agents by using the domain expansion in that state, he had already tired himself out, so it took a lot out of him. As he felt his eyes straining, as Sasuke tossed something towards him as he caught it, Naruto placed on the glasses. As he held on to the railing, however, Danzo started to run away. He ran as fast as he could, sure that he was not in a genjutsu anymore. He had to get out of here. That is when he heard Shidori rain. Danzo turned as he saw many small sparks coming down towards him. He tried to escape, but he was impaled by several of them, as he felt them zapping his system. Cursing, Danzo kept on moving, as they slashed across his face, tearing his skin. However, he kept on moving. He had to flee, he had to get out of there. Danzo ran down to the bottom of the base, intending on using a secret way out of here. However, Naruto landed right in front of him, causing the old man to step back in fear. "Where do you think you're going?" said Naruto, as he looked somewhat exhausted. "No, I won't die here," said Danzo. "There's too much for me to do. I will not be killed by you too. This is not my destiny. This is not my future," he said. "You are nothing more than a relic of the past, and your time is up," said Naruto as he stepped forward. He then released a breath, and Danzo felt pain. Danzo reached up and gripped his face. Looking towards his hand, he saw blood. "But when did you?" He couldn't understand. "Your last life," said Naruto, as Danzo realized that the eye in his skull was pierced right through by one of Sasuke's senbons that had rained from the heavens. But why was he just feeling it now? That is when Danzo realized he was still under their genjutsu. "I don't understand," the man said. He was confused. Was all of this just an illusion? Pain, Smell, senses, all of it can be altered by my eyes, said Naruto. As you can see now, what I said before was true. You are not a Uchiha, and you will never be a real Uchiha. You cannot grasp the power of Uchiha. Danzo dropped down to his knees. He was bested in every way possible, but this whole time he was being used like a rat in a maze. He was never truly in control of this battle. He was never truly winning this battle. He was always on the losing side, but he never saw it, as he was just now feeling the pain. Sasuke held out his blade as Naruto held out his. Both brothers rushed forward and sliced. One into the left and one into the right. The left side and the right side of Danzo's neck, as Naruto and Sasuke blade met in the middle, tapping against each other. Danzo's head was taken off his shoulders as the man's body dropped. Pure failure in his final moments and regret. His entire ego was just destroyed, bested, treated like a mere mouse that they were toying with the entire time. Sasuke looked down at the body. He's finally dead, he said. Yes, he's gone now, said Naruto. People like this, they don't deserve to live in the world that we're going to create. He's just one of the many, said Naruto. As Sasuke stepped forward and sliced Danzo's arm off, that all the Sharingans were on. It was also a prototype arm that was from the cells of Fushirama Senju. The clone of Naruto arrived, as he had something instead of a scroll as he handed it to Naruto. Naruto took it as a clone. Body went up in chakra and flowed back into Naruto. As Naruto fully got back up, feeling back some of his chakra, as he used that chakra to revert back to his stamina, he turned his head to the right, as a real Sai was making his way down here. We have to go, he said, as a wormhole ripped open right in front of him. Both him and Sasuke stepped through. Meanwhile, Sai arrived. The search for the Uchiha boys was still happening, as he came down here to visit his master. However, what Sai saw was pure chaos. They were all dead. Bodies were littering everywhere. Sai was shocked as he stood there, not understanding what could have caused this. Making his way through the bodies, going lower and lower, he came across his master, his head to one side, his body to the other. Danzo-sama was dead. The seal on his tongue then proceeded to vanish, as he was now free. Free of Danzo's seal upon his death. But guys, be and subscribe right here. If you want to see the next part to do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. But I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace.